Well, January is Human Trafficking and Exploitation Awareness Month. And in the year 2025, having that awareness is so important when it comes to our online spaces. Northern News Now's Hannah Morgan shares what this month means here in our communities.
A study from 2022 reports that 73% of children across the world ages 10 and older own a cell phone. A rise in that phone usage means dangers are rising too, especially with online exploitation. Mel Elvar, Safe Harbor Regional Navigator with PASFA, said that happens to every community.
We are seeing a lot happen online right now.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children found that between 2021 and 2023, the number of online enticement reports increased by more than 300%. In 2024, they received over 450,000 reports of online enticement.
Perpetrators can actually convince folks to meet in person, and it can either be for, with the intention of sexual abuse or financial extortion.
It can happen anywhere there are open chats online.
We think of situations where maybe youth or individuals feel isolated, they don't feel connected to their communities.
And that's why educating children about the online world is important to organizations like PASFA.
To identify what does harm look like online.
With January being Human Trafficking and Exploitation Awareness Month, groups like PASFA and Lake County Sex Trafficking Task Force are using it to bring more awareness. One of their upcoming events is a candlelight vigil in honor of those who had passed away from trafficking or those who were rebuilding their lives from it.
And then for those who are still victims.
Unlike past events, the trafficking and exploitation events aren't going to only be in January, but throughout the year, and some say that's a good idea.
I think that's the right direction to go.
In Duluth, Hannah Morgan, Northern News Now.
Hannah, thank you so much. That candlelight vigil will be held on Monday starting at 4:30. You can find more information soon on our website at northernnewsnow.com.